Okay, we're live. It's James Middick speaking, trainingsites.io. It's Sunday evening, I guess, late afternoon, evening. And I've been playing around all weekend with Google Gemini 2.5 Pro and 2.5 Pro Experimental. And I want to go over them today because if you are a video or course content creator, anyone in the education space, these are one of those ones that changes everything again. It's really hard making thumbnails for these videos and video titles because it's always wow, changes everything, disrupts, kills, all sorts of stuff. But it is actually happening every day. There's something brand new. And just in this last week, the one that caught my eye was this Google Gemini 2.5 Pro. And there's a couple really neat things with that. And they also did another one that was about creating actually images, again in the tool, which I covered in another video. But the ones I want to show you today is kind of a hidden one, and I think it might be more important than people are realizing if you're into creating video content or course content. Now, there's two places you can find the Gemini 2.5 Pro Experimental. I'm going to show them to you now, and then we're going to go over 10 ways that you might be able to use the one that's in the AI Studio, the second one that I'm going to show you that you may not have considered. So let's take a look at actually where they go, how they show up, where they are for you to look at, and then we'll actually go through some examples. So if you're in gemini.google.com, there's a little drop down here. Make sure I got the right one here. Hopefully you can see this. By default, it's on 2.0 Flash. There's one here, at least for me. I'm in North America. This is a paid version, but my understanding is it either is or will be available for all users. There's one here called 2.5 Pro Experimental, which is for really complex tasks. And the thing that's cool with this one is you'll see a little bit below here, it says canvas. Whenever you have the canvas selected, it actually brings up this kind of little page on the right hand side here. And we can actually change what's going on here. So this is an open canvas, and we can go back and forth based on the changes that we have here. It'll get updated iteratively, not have to regenerate everything. And then the other cool thing here, of course, on the right-hand side where it says export to docs, this is that kind of hidden Google thing that they're weaving this tool into our regular Google workspace like Sheets and Docs and Drive and all that good stuff. So this one is here. It's the Gemini Advanced 2.5 Pro Experimental. So that's one place you can find it. It has that canvas. Go and play with that. It's a really good tool. It's lightning fast, and like it says, it's great for real complex tasks. Now, the tasks that I'm interested in have to do with videos, not doing software coding. So wouldn't it be great if I had the ability to interact a little bit deeper with videos? Well, that's exactly what's happened with the other 2.5 Pro experimental version that you can play around with. And that particular one is at aistudio.google.com. And all you need for this one, of course, is an active Google account. If you go there, you'll be able to log in. And this is kind of their playroom, right? This is where you go in, play around, and they bring out kind of new versions of stuff here before they release them to the gemini.google.com page. So here's one here. There's another one that's kind of listed here, and I'll bring this one up on the screen. And I think we're big enough. Let me see if I can get it a little bit bigger. This one says here, Gemini 2.5 Pro Experimental 0325. March 25th, 2025 is when I'm recording this. This came out 5 days ago. Now, it's very similar in except for two respects that are important for us as video and course content creators in that education space. The first one is right here where it says token count. When we're actually using these AI tools, we have a limited number of tokens, and the amount of interaction that we have back and forth with them, that fills up the available tokens. Now in this one, we've got 1 million tokens. And to put this in perspective, if you're using a tool like Claude 3.7 Sonnet, which is another one of the great AI tools that I talk about all the time, I think from what I've read, it's got 200,000 tokens available. And that's why sometimes when you're using these AI tools, they always get the warning and it says, sorry, you've got a long chat, you better start a new one. That's because the context window or the tokens have been used up. There's a limit on them. This one has 1,000,000, which is 5 times the amount that you would have normally found on something like Sonnet. So that's the first thing. The second thing is what I'm going to show you right now. Now, I always use examples of pickleball because I'm a big fan of pickleball. I have a pickleball site. I like playing it. Not very good at it, but I like playing it. And in many cases, I use pickleball because there's two things that are a little bit different when it comes to training videos. This is a skill that shows an actual instructor doing something visually and narrating it. And some of the things that have to be in context here are the actual players, the court, and the actual actions that the players are making. Those are not things that are described, those are visual elements in the video. So here's the really cool thing. What I can do now is I'm just going to share this particular video so I have a link to it. And I'm going to go to the AI Studio. And in my case, I'll start a new one just so that you see how this happens. So I'm going to go create a prompt here. And it says, what do you want to build? Well, two things to notice. If I want to give system instructions, so if I want to give an optional tone or style to the model, I can do that here. But in my case, I'm just going to go down to the bottom and it says type something. But if you look just to the right, it says insert assets such as images, videos, folders, files, or audio. So watch what happens. I do a left mouse click on the plus. There's one here called YouTube videos. So watch what happens. I'm going to click YouTube video and I'm going to put in my YouTube video. I've now got the YouTube video in this particular chat. So what I need to do here is I want to add it to the prompt, and it's extracting the video from YouTube and it now has it in its context window. And the cool thing here is take a look on the right hand side, 160,000 tokens out of 1,000,000. The other tools can't do this yet. So not only have we got a large video that we can work on, the other thing is this is a multimodal tool, and that means it's going to see the pictures, see the text overlaid on the pictures, understand which is the court, which is the player, what are they actually doing, and it's going to have the transcription of what the instructor is actually saying from it. So this is kind of running in the background. What are some of the things that we can run into? Well, I was just playing around trying to come up with some ideas on how this may work, but just think of it this way. So here's a couple that I came up with and we'll just talk about them briefly. So let's say you have someone else's video or you have your own video, and you can say analyze videos from competitors or leading experts in a field. The AI can summarize not just the spoken content, but also describe key visual aids, demonstrations, and on-screen text. So here's one. Identify best practices, content gaps, or different teaching styles without watching the video. We don't have to watch a webinar anymore. We don't have to watch a large video. We can actually have this tool go and provide that information for us. Another one is this one here. This is the one that is kind of exciting. If you've been creating videos for a while, which I have, search through a library of existing videos, internal or external. So not only your own, but also other people's videos. So if I have a library of 1,000 video tutorials, I can actually have it search through a folder. Now there's 1,000,000 tokens, so obviously can't have all of the videos at once, but they could be in groups or in a course. I now have the ability to interact with those videos internally or externally, and I'll show you how that works externally in a minute. But find videos showing the proper grip for a pickleball serve. Show me diagrams explaining the two bounce rule. So we can go through and analyze all the different ones that are available there. Content outlining, summarization. Look at the ones here. Videos to pinpoint the most visually engaging or clear demonstrative segments. There's the other one that was kind of neat for me. Catch potential confusion points or inconsistencies before publishing. Sometimes you have a visual reference that has nothing to do with what's being said. You can look at those, fix it yourself, or you can watch a competitor's video and take a look and see what they missed or what they did wrong or what they didn't explain correctly. So the other one, I put 10 of these in, and I'll put this available so that you have it. And again, all of my content is always available at trainingsites.io. I'll just pull this up for you here. If you look at the link below, trainingsites.io over there in the bottom of the screen, my community, my campus, all of my courses, all of the prompts, everything that I do is actually there, and it's available for you free when you become part of the community, which I would love to have you do. Uh, and join a whole bunch of other people who are starting, building, and growing an education business with this huge opportunity. Um, the other one that kind of jumped out at me that I came up with was this one: create a step-by-step guide, a list of key rules showing descriptions and diagrams used, which can be turned into handouts, blog posts, and knowledge base articles. So these are some of the ones that I just came up with. And again, it can be anything that requires you need more than the text and the transcription. So let's take a look and see how this actually works, and then we'll run a couple and play some here. So here's one that I did. I said, identify the teaching style and describe key visual aids, demonstrations, and visual flow. So I'm just going to copy that. And remember, we actually put it in here with the prompt, right? It has the video. So I'm just going to type in the prompt that I'm going to copy here. Identify the teaching styles, demonstrations. Let me put a proper spelling there. And visual flow. So I'm just going to click run. And a couple things are going to happen here. You can see that it's got the video, but it's going to go through. Right now it's at 5-10 seconds. So what it's doing, it's a thinking model. So it's going to analyze the actual video, the visual components, the text components, the audio component. I think it does the audio as well. But we've now got it going through all of the information, and you're going to see in a second. The other cool thing is it shows you what it's thinking about before it gives a response. And I think it takes about 40 or 50 seconds. There we go. We have the thinking sign, the thoughts produced by the model experimental. Remember, this is AI Studio, their playground, and expand to view what's going on. So this is what's happening in the background. It's going through and taking some notes, and you'll see the timestamps on the video. So it has each of the different sections that are available. You can also see how fast the screen is refreshing. This one is lightning fast rifling through this information. Again, this is a 10 or a 15-minute long video. It's done it in 57 seconds. And if we go through here, there we go. So now we've got our answer. There it is right here. Let's break down the teaching style and visual elements. See if I can make this any bigger for you. Yeah. There we go. I made it too big, so hang on for a sec. There we go. Sorry. Teaching style. Direct instructions and explanation. This is actually a bit too big. Okay. On-screen graphics, specific demonstrations, visual flow. So it knows all of the things that are there visually as well as text-based. So you can go through, take a look at them and say, how did they do this? How were they instructing it? Well, all of them start with an introduction. They all have an alternating explanation and demonstration. They have structured transitions, which include on-screen titles and clear visual breaks and transitions before the 10 tips. They show multiple camera angles, wide shots and narrow shots, and the pacing, and it's from point to point. So that's just an example of how it can actually go and take a look at more than just the transcription in the video. And these can be your videos or your competitors or any other people who are an expert in something where you want to adapt, use, or educate yourself for your own content. Let's take a look at another one here. And I think there's a kind of a neat one to kind of do, yeah, here's the one. I'll show you this one. And I'm going to talk about this. This is one where I'm going to ask it for something that is shown in the video. And then we'll see, because the response should come out that's a little bit different. So on this particular one, again, I'm working on the same video. I'm going to say, find videos that show, or say, let me just see if we put, I'm going to make sure we got find in this video elements that show the proper grip for serving. Now, we're going to try and see what happens here on this one. Because if we're looking for something that's specific in, one of the things you couldn't do, if you've got a webinar or some kind of large video that's there, What do you actually do to get to that? Do you watch all of it? Do you read the timestamps? Do you take the transcription and manually create a summary of it using another AI tool? We can take a look now and think if you're an instructor, you've got a whole bunch of videos. Someone who has a tool like this can now say, look through these videos and find out, I need to know about the proper grip for a pickleball paddle. They don't have to watch the whole video. They have a specific question they want answered to it. This tool will actually go through and not base its answer on the transcription, but actually base it through. So here we go. Took 40 seconds, expand the thought. So understanding the request, recall the video content, target the section, scan the relevant timestamps, focus on the grip. As I scan, my primary focus is on Connor's hand on the paddle before and during the serve motion. So it isn't looking for when he's talking about it, it's looking at what he actually does, which is so cool. Does the camera zoom in on the grip? Is the grip clearly visible in the medium or wide shots? Does the instructor explicitly mention pointing out the grip? So this is actually what it went through to come up with the answer about a specific question that I had in a video that had nothing to do with what the person in the video was actually saying. And if I go through on that, based on the analysis of the video content and visuals, while it demonstrates serving motions, particularly around type 8 and starting at 226, it doesn't give anything specific about it. Okay? Therefore, viewers looking at detail instruction would not find other videos. So it doesn't have the answer, but if I had changed the text and I just said, find videos that have or show the proper grip for serving, let's see what happens. So now it's going to go externally and compare it to what's internal and help to put in context something that wasn't in the video that we could also add or use in the content that we're creating. So it's going out and it's taking a look. Find videos that show the proper grip of serving. This isn't exactly this isn't it changes stuff again. I wish I could not say that, but everything that happens in AI every week completely upends what we talked about the week before. And this is coming to the point. I've talked about this in a whole bunch of other videos. This is leveling the playing field for us as course creators and video creators, because if you can use this to actually analyze other people's content and or create new content based on other people's content, this is a situation where it's a level playing field for people who are course creators. And it's our personal experience applying this information is what's going to make us unique and allow us to charge premiums for our time within our campuses and our learning platforms. That's what I've been talking about at trainingsites.io. The Teach Online community is all about using your content to supplement what is actually being demonstrated and taught and being a guide of someone through all of this information. It's wonderful to have this to see what's happening, but you have to put it in context. How are you going to use it and apply it to your business? You want to be able to understand what's going on, the questions that people have, how to display it to them and or teach, or the process that you have or that you've done to apply this. That's the cool part to do it. So it's actually gone through. Take a look. Pickleball, commonly referred grips, continental grip, shaking hands with the paddle. Here are a few examples of videos that explain how to do this. And it's actually got some different people that have actually gone and it's done some searches on this. Sorry, I didn't have the screen on. But here's the example. It came up and it's provided some other instructors that have this particular piece in. And this is the fact that, yes, we have a video. It's answering questions about the video, but it's still a large language model, an AI tool that has access to all of the training that it has. Now, if we had actually been a little bit more, not careful, we could have at the start, there's actually something here on the right-hand side. Hopefully I can show it up. Let me just change my screen here. It says grounding with Google in the bottom right. It says grounding with Google. It's not on right now. Grounding with Google means it could have done a live search on the internet right now. So it could have done a search on YouTube. I didn't have it on. The response that it gave was just based on the training that it had. And I think the training was is from either the beginning of the year was the cutoff date. Um, but we could have had it so it was open and other people or other references would have been able to be pulled into it. So this is a really, really cool thing. Play around with it, add a video, start asking questions, and see some of the ways that you can use it. Now, I put together 10 ways that are here. Are there hundreds of other ones? Yes, absolutely. The important thing to recognize is we now have an AI tool that can actually go and see what's in the video in terms of all of the visual components and how they relate to each other. Things like content gaps, being able to show specific parts. Everything is there now for us to actually use, whether it be researching stuff or creating content or analyzing things that we don't know about or that our competitors or other people that we admire or want to learn from. It's just a quick way to do all of this. So hopefully you've been enjoying this. My name is James Maduke. It's trainingsites.io/join. I'd love to have you in the campus. Like and subscribe to the channel. I do these videos every day. I try and cover all the stuff that's happening in AI. But if you're interested in starting, building, and growing an education business, please join our campus, and I'll do my best to make sure that you get the answers that you want when you're creating your video content and building your education business. Take care. Expect the best.